You are watching 2+U Nevada, and joining us this afternoon, we have some very prestigious people in the house. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Nathaniel Holland, and we have Executive Assistant United States Attorney Sue Fahmy. So what does that mean for you at home? Okay, Nate is in charge of the FBI for the state of Nevada. And Sue is in charge of the U.S. Attorney's Office in Reno. She's number 2 in the state of Nevada, number 1 here in our region. Thank you for being here and joining us this afternoon. It's really a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
You know, I'm really excited to have you both here because I think it's so important that people get to know the people who are protecting us and how you are protecting us. So first and foremost, let's just talk about how a partnership between your two offices works.
So I'll start from the FBI side of the house. So here in Reno, our main office for the FBI is in Las Vegas, and we have satellite offices in Elko, South Lake Tahoe, and Reno. And we have 2 squads, as we call them. We have a squad that represents national security matters and also a squad that represents criminal matters. And any of our cases that we have to prosecute, we also partner with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and another partnership that we talk about a lot is our task force officers, whether it's with the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, the Reno Police Department, Sparks Police Department. That's just a few that we name, but we do a lot of partnerships with our local, state, and federal agencies.
Absolutely. And with those task force, I am familiar with, of course, HIDA, getting the drugs off of our streets, you know, with I-80 and 395 being major connectors. You know, that is really important for our community. So thank you. And then how do you get a case from the FBI?
So we have our main office in Las Vegas and a branch office here in Reno. Our Reno office covers a lot of ground. We cover the 14 northern counties in the state of Nevada. And in our close partnership with the FBI, there are a few different ways we work on cases together. Sometimes it's more formal and we get a case file in, an investigation that's completed. Sometimes that's more of a white collar fraud type of case. But sometimes we have violent crime cases. The 14 northern counties encompass the majority of our tribal lands, which are federal lands. And we have homicides, sex abuse cases, embezzlement cases. Sometimes those cases, a lot of those cases are reactive crimes. So it might just be a phone call where an agent calls us and says, someone has been shot, someone has been hurt, and we need search warrants right away. We need an arrest warrant right away. So it could be more of an informal intake of a case.
And you bring up our tribal lands. You know, it's so important. And Nate, how important is it that your FBI agents have that relationship and can be approachable through our tribal communities? There's got to be a lot of outreach there too.
Yes, absolutely. And we're very invested in our tribal lands and our tribal communities. We actually have agents that are assigned to work what we call Indian country. And we have tribal members or tribal law enforcement on some of our task forces, our Safe Trails Task Force. And anytime there's, whether it's a homicide, kidnappings, any major felony crimes that happen on Indian land, we have agents that respond to help out our partners from the BIA and just a local Indian community.
So let's talk about crime trends in northern Nevada. What are you currently seeing an increase of in northern Nevada?
Well, I'll say for the holiday season, we're looking at fraud, like in elderly fraud is probably one of the number 1 topics that we're kind of focusing in on. Northern Nevada, it's a retirement, you know, we have a big retirement community.
Yep.
So those are folks that are being targeted by the scammers, whether it's online, you know, through emails, through text. So one of the things we would say is, you know, don't get caught up in the scams. And if you're skeptical, you know, let us know about some of the, you know, calls you're getting, some of the things you're seeing online. Romance scams is probably one of the big ones we're seeing as well.
In elder fraud?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Where, you know, you have some of our elderly folks that are lonely, they may have lost a spouse, and someone reaches out to them and all of a sudden befriends them. And if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true as well. And a romance scam can lead into, you know, fraud. And just, you know, we've seen seniors losing their retirements because of these scams.
Oh, that's just so heartbreaking. And Sue, once it gets to your office with these elder cases, are there enhancements that the federal government can then use because the victim is elderly?
Yes, there are enhancements when it comes to that. Also, there are enhancements when it comes to the amount of loss. And I also wanted to add that I think it's very important for us to keep the lines of communication open with our elderly family members and friends, because what we find a lot of time is that these crimes are not reported because they feel embarrassed, ashamed. So it's important to keep those lines open and to talk to them regularly.
100%. Yeah. Because I'll just tell you, my parents will call me and be like, hey, we got this email, or hey, we got this text and it's supposedly Amazon saying da 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 da. And I'm like, nope, that's fraud. Don't even touch a link. Don't do it, And so having that relationship so that your family members do feel comfortable enough to know that you won't shame them.
And I'll add on to that. We have an Internet Crimes Complaint Center, or IC3.gov, where we encourage our elderly folks and even just regular folks to visit the website. And it's a reporting mechanism to discuss what's happening, whether it's internet, like cyber internet crimes or fraud. And it also provides education on some of the trends that we're seeing, not just here in Northern Nevada, but throughout the country. So,
and when it comes to that, I'm curious because I know that you guys keep track of these trends. Even if we don't respond to those phishing attempts or those text messages, do you want us to report them to you?
Absolutely, because sometimes we may see trends and, we gather the data and we can do like intelligence products to educate just local law enforcement and also the community about some of the trends we're seeing.
Okay, we're running out of time, but since I have both of you sitting here, I do want to talk to you about the current situation that we're in at a time when there is, no matter what side you're on, some sort of distrust or mistrust of federal government. How do you handle corruption?
We treat corruption just like we treat any other crime. If we get a complaint in, we're going to assess it. And if it needs to be, worked as an investigation, we'll consult with the U.S. Attorney's Office and treat it as the same.
Yep. And we do the same. We treat it as any other crime, any other investigation that is submitted to our office.
Well, I can't thank you both enough for being here. We're going to have you back. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're watching 2+U Nevada.